You know the routine. At the end of an exhausting workday, you step into the sterile, quiet isolation of an empty office elevator. You press the button for your floor, expecting the familiar metallic hum. Instead, the overhead lights flicker, once, then twice, and the entire cabin grinds to a heavy, jarring halt between floors. For 36-year-old Daniel Harper, this was a mechanical failure. Daniel was an architect, a man who built his life on the foundations of certainty and order. He believed the world operated on predictable laws. Load-bearing walls supported roofs, and gravity kept things anchored. The supernatural belonged in fiction, while the real world always had a rational explanation. This reliance on logic made Daniel a unique candidate for what happened next. When you trust physics to define your reality, an irrational event becomes a direct threat to your understanding of the world. On the digital display, the number 7 disappears. A glowing symbol takes its place, a circle intersected by lines from no known language. A gentle chime rings out, and the doors slide open. Daniel is staring out over a massive city. Crystalline towers stretch into the clouds under a purple sky, illuminated by 3 moons of different colors. The environment operates on completely unfamiliar rules. Massive rivers of water float suspended in the air, winding gracefully between the towers instead of flowing across the ground. Daniel's mind searches for a medical diagnosis, a gas leak, a sudden stroke, or a vivid hallucination. But a warm breeze hits his face, carrying the scent of flowers he's never seen. He can feel the temperature of the air and the weight of the wind. Daniel is no longer in the office tower. He is standing in a space that requires him to accept that his grasp on reality is wrong. This is Alaris. It is a timeline where humanity chose to share knowledge instead of hiding it, allowing technology to grow alongside the natural environment, rather than replacing it. A silver-haired woman named Lyra approaches him. She isn't startled by his appearance. She tells him she has been waiting 31 years for him to arrive. The elevator doesn't transport people at random. It seeks out those who are standing between 2 versions of themselves, people whose lives have reached a point where their current path and their potential path are pulling in opposite directions. Think of it as a split in a timeline. The portal targets the moment where a single life divides into 2 equal possibilities. The elevator acts as a bridge, connecting a person's current reality directly to a physical manifestation of the choices they never made. Alaris isn't a magical world. It is a physical reflection of the person Daniel might have been if he had chosen differently decades ago. As he walks through the city, Daniel notices that the citizens already know him. Merchants and strangers greet him by name, welcoming him like a neighbor they see every day. Lyra leads him into a library carved into a mountain of glowing stone. In the center stands a mirror. The reflection staring back at Daniel is a man who is older, calmer, and wearing clothes from this world. Their movements match perfectly. This man is the Daniel who entered the elevator decades ago and chose to stay. The older Daniel built a family here and helped shape the city's architecture. He is the living result of every missed opportunity and forgotten dream the younger Daniel left behind on Earth. At the platform, the elevator doors are beginning to rust. The metal is oxidizing quickly, a sign that the window to return home is closing. To stay in this paradise, Daniel would have to permanently abandon his original life. The door is asking him to decide which version of himself he wants to be. The older Daniel explains that even in a perfect world, he still wonders about the people he left behind. He warns that every choice, no matter how good, carries its own weight. Daniel steps back into the rusting elevator. He chooses the certainty and the flaws of his own reality over the perfection of Alaris. The doors scrape together, and the mechanical hum returns. When they open again, Daniel is back on the 7th floor of his office building. The digital clock on the wall shows that only 38 seconds have passed since he first pressed the button. His phone suddenly buzzes with notifications. To the rest of the world, he never left. He walks to his desk, looks at his blueprints, and realizes that while nothing in the room has changed, he can no longer look at the walls the same way. Time passes, and the building is eventually demolished. Elevator number 8 is crushed and forgotten beneath the construction of a new city skyline. Years later, a new office tower opens across the city. It is modern and fast, but the employees begin to notice something unusual about one of the cars. Security footage shows a young woman entering the elevator alone. The lights black out, the recording fills with static, and when the doors open 30 seconds later, the cabin is empty. The case is dismissed as a technical glitch, but somewhere the door is still opening for those who aren't sure where they belong. If those doors opened in front of you tonight, would you step back into the life you know, or walk toward the mystery of who you could become?